Hi. I decided to make a video to send to some of the people I love, or I don't know, maybe eventually I'll send it to all the people I love. Um, okay, so yeah, I'm wearing the warrior shirt because I just did my third ayahuasca ceremony this past weekend. And it's so difficult to express in words what I experienced, but I just want to say that there was so much healing. I was encouraged by grandmother ayahuasca to really embrace my inner child and spend some time with her, to continue in her healing. And I spent what felt like hours holding my heart in my hand and really connecting with my body in a new way, and taking time to use like the power of my hands to heal my womb, my empty womb, and my woman parts, and the parts that I've neglected, and that I've misused in my life for the wrong reasons, for reasons that now I understand were about not feeling loved by the first people in my life, and also not feeling loved by myself for so long. I was given so many wonderful insights from her and from God. I had like such an amazing connection with God, with Dios, and I felt the earth's heartbeat. I was gifted with that gift of really connecting with the ground and feeling the earth's heartbeat. Trees became art. I've never actually had visuals before, but I had visuals this time because they left like a little crack in the geodome where we do the ceremony, and it's in a forest, so I was like able to see like all the beautiful trees outside. And she was like having like the trees dance with like the leaves and the trees were dancing and making these amazing shapes and colors for me to see. I feel like I came full circle. Like I came to understand so much about my childhood neglect and all the ways that the generations in my family have been neglected. So much neglect, but not intentional, not conscious neglect. Just neglect that comes from lots of pain, lots of heart closing, and not knowing how to give love, not knowing how to essentially give of self, to have these moments of connection and moments of actually like seeing one another and hearing one another and feeling one another. Some of the wisdom that I learned from grandmother was to drop the story. That story, the story that we have in our minds, the story that lives in our body, about like why we're so messed up, or like why we're not enough, or why we're unlovable. It's a story that is, meant to teach us how to come to better love ourselves, to understand like the infinite, amazing divine love that exists in all of the universe, that comes from God, that comes from the divine feminine. From, you can even think of it as like the divine love that comes from Mary, right? the divine love that comes from God's Son, Jesus. And if you don't feel comfortable with those terms or with those images or figures or people, just understanding that like the amount of infinite love that exists in this universe is always holding us, is always there, waiting for us to open the door and receive. And part of what we can do as people is we can learn to find the courage within ourselves to keep opening our hearts up every day, opening our hearts to the people around us. So one of her wisdoms was teaching people about holding your heart, right? And when you're having a moment of struggle, imagine that you have your heart in your hand. She kept telling me, heart in hand, heart in hand. And so when you're having a moment of struggle, imagine that you're taking your heart and you're placing it in your hand, and just do this. Just feel your heartbeat. Look at it. Imagine that your heart is right here in your hand, and feel it and be with it. And this movement of heartbeat is healing. Something else she taught me was a movement that I really enjoyed. It was drop the story, more love. Drop the story, let go of the story, more love. Release the story, more love. Drop the story, more love. There's so much to say about this experience. There's so much to say about the divinity of this plant and what it does and what it offers humanity. What it offers me as a human being and the people that I share the space with. The geodome felt like a warrior ship. And ironically, right, I'm Angela Guerrero. Guerrero means warrior. And I've known for a very long time that part of my mission and my purpose here on earth is to be a warrior. Is to like really find courage within myself and to like tap into my bravery and like heal all the wounds that I know that have existed in my family of origin for so long. So much pain and grief and loss and depression and anxiety and fear, jealousy, disappointment, loneliness. So much loneliness. So I'm taking a moment today, or I guess a few minutes today, to just share this experience because part of me feels like it's not fair. It's not fair for me to be gifted with this and to not share with people in my life who I love and who I know could really benefit from this. And so we're all on our own journey, right? We all are our own unique person on our own unique journey. And some of us came in this lifetime to do the healing and to do the work, the real warriorship work. And others are not here, like in this lifetime, to do the real hard work. And that's okay. That's okay. It probably means that you are being prepped, right, to come back in your next life to do the real work. One of the things that came to me is that as a child, I felt like a bird who had fallen out of the nest, and I felt lost. I felt like I wasn't quite sure, like, who do I go to? Who do I go to for guidance? Who do I go to for love? Like, the people around me were wounded birds. and the nest was like dissipated. The nest was there, but it didn't feel like a safe place. And so for many of my childhood years, I was like the little bird in like the story, Are You My Mother, right? Looking for like guidance, looking for love, looking for affection, trying to figure out, well, who do I get this from? Sometimes that turns out to look like codependency, right? Like, oh, maybe I'll find this in this person. Maybe this person will give me what I was lacking and what I was needing. And what I've learned through my own healing journey is that all of the love that I was seeking, everything that I've been seeking outside of myself, is inside. It's right here, right here. I have so many wonderful messages to share that I want to also say that I've decided that I want to put on an art show. And I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but I think it's going to be called Heart Wide Open. And I have messages that I'm going to draw out. I'm going to write. Everyone knows I love writing. I'm going to write and I'm going to draw them out and I'm going to frame them. And this art show is going to be in dedication to all of the children in the world who have suffered from emotional neglect. These children include my father, my mother, my brothers, my sister, who I deeply love. And, you know, one of the messages was that we are all wounded birds, but we can choose to fly free. We don't have to be stuck by our pain and our fear of being seen and being heard and being felt and truly being our authentic self. We don't need to be afraid of not being enough because we are born in the image of God. We are a reflection of God. God is love and God is perfect. And as humans, we are perfectly imperfect. So this is the first time that I've ever done this. In the past few ceremonies, I have taken time to write about my experience. Lastly, what I want to say is that this is not an easy choice. It's not something that you sign up to do because it's fun or because you're really gonna, feel super happy the whole time. No, it's like the yin and the yang, right? The yin and the yang, the push and the pull. It's like the masculine and the feminine. It's a little bit of everything. So as much as I felt elated and ecstatic and deeply moved and touched and loved and felt so much gentleness and tenderness, I felt so held by Mother. And at the same time, I reached my edge. There was an edge of like total and complete fear, an edge of, oh, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. I can't do this. I will never do this again. This pain feels too terrifying. In those moments, I remember my breath. I remember to lighten up. And I remember the most important message that Mother Ayahuasca teaches. Feel your body. Feel everything inside of you. Feel your emotions. Feel. Less thinking, more feeling. I'll end this video by saying that one of my favorite messages that I got that made me chuckle quite a bit during ceremony was, busy being. That was the message. Busy, like that was one of my favorite messages, which is, we're all so busy. We're all just so busy. We don't have time for each other. We make time for social media, but we don't have time for each other. And I do realize that I'm actually making a video right now instead of reaching out to people. But I will take time to reach out to people that I want to reach out to. And I will take time to connect, because this is what I'm passionate about, is making connections. I'm passionate about relating and communicating. It's what fills me up. It's what makes me whole, to relate with people and to give them love through words and through listening. Thank you for taking the time to listen and to watch. And again, I'm not actually making this video to tell you that this is what you need. I'm making this video because this is what I needed. And I'm all about listening to my needs and meeting them. Listening to my needs and meeting them myself, with the help of God and the divine feminine. I will continue on my warriorship, and I will continue to share in moments of inspiration, in moments of really wanting to offer myself and the wisdom that I learn. Namaste. I love you.